Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to just have some fun with a cube. I'll show you how I made mine and then yeah, hopefully, well, let's be honest here, this doesn't have all that much practical usage, it's just a bit of fun. So let's just see what happens if I click here. So you can see that I can actually rotate my cube here in 3 dimensions and yeah, that's all there is to it. It's it's yeah, there are use cases for this, I suppose. I mean, these effects can be very striking if you can support them in all your in the browsers that you use. But for the most part, yeah, let's just admit it. It's a bit of fun. So enough dilly-dallying. Let's actually have a look at how this is implemented. So first and foremost, I declare just a scene, which is just the container, which is going to dictate like the space that I'm going to use. So it's going to be 200 by 200 pixels and a little bit of margin. That's it. And then I set my perspective to 600 pixels because if I don't do that, I can see that the perspective of moving around here is a little bit weird, as you can see. Like by using the perspective, I am actually moving the camera, just picture a mental camera, back from the element so that I can actually see it like completely in a three-dimensional space. It's a different video to talk about perspectives, but let's just think of it as a camera being very close to near to something as opposed to it moving back a little bit, because if you move it back you can see the shape of the whole object that you're moving around. And yeah, if we open this, we'll see that we have this cube class with the front. We are using a bit of JavaScript. I'll touch on that in just a moment. So the way it works is virtually that, all right, we have a cube. It's 200 by 200 pixels, and then I set my transform style to preserve 3D. So I preserve the three-dimensional, the position within the three-dimensional space, and I have a little bit of a transition because without the transition, it's not really all that impressive now, is it? And yeah, that's about it. And then inside here I have the different sides of the box, and these sides, it's just divs which with a bit of rotation and some basic styling, and yeah, that's virtually all it is. So the way, if I move this over to the right here and we say that, all right, I want to, I don't know, I'll offset this said position a little bit, you can see that my front is now moving forward, but I can also move it back and make it kind of go inside of this 3D space, because yeah, I can, like, it's just me moving things around on one of the axes. And that's all the magic there is to it. Each of these sides have their own rotation. Like I use rotation here to just rotate the backside 180 degrees, so it's on, so I flip the card, and then I translate 100 pixels on the Z axis there as well, just so that I can get this box effect, because if I didn't move it on the Z axis, everything would be squished together, and that's not what I want. And yeah, that's basically this. Everything is just rotations and translations on the Z axis for the most part. So that's basically it. And then we have this little nice radi group here. Let's actually dive into the actual document, because I think that's going to be a little bit clearer. So just the controls here is basically that I have these different inputs, and each of them have a value that represents which side I want to show. And then I have some basic JavaScript down here where I grab the cube, and then I have a current class, and then I create this little function called rotate cube. And each time I'm just going to grab the element that is checked, because on my silly little site here, there's just one element that's going to be checked. We'll start with the front in this scenario. And then I just grab the value of the checked radio button, and I just see which, if it's front, top, bottom, whatever it is. And if there is a current class, I simply remove the current class, and then I add my new class, or the side that I want to show, to the cube, and I set that to the new current class. And so every time I click this, I'm just going to reset the old class and apply the new class, so that you get this nice rotation. And then I call this function, or that's basically it to start off. And finally, I have an event listener here that whenever something changes on the document, I simply run this function over and over. And yeah, that's virtually how I get this effect. So although not that practical, it's quite fun to play around with. So hopefully you found this enjoyable. Have a great day.